over this last week, it has been pretty chill. I've been hanging out with my friends. It's been a while since I've been back to Tokyo. So just chilling out, shopping, eating good food, and overall having a pretty good time. Anyway, you might be curious as to what this stuff is because in the last week, I've done a little bit of shopping. Now, early in the video, we went to the markets and I told you guys I'm going to show you what I picked up, and I've got that plus some extra. So yeah, let's talk about it. Firstly, I got these indigo dyed denim pieces of fabric. Now these are scarves, I believe. I saw them instantly when I walked into the market, and yeah, I just fell in love because these were 1,000 yen each, which if you guys don't know, that's like 10 Australian dollars. Now indigo blue is a dyeing process really famous in Japan, and they use like organic materials and organisms to actually make the color, which I learned about, and it's like really cool. And so I've been looking for some sort of material that has been indigo dyed, and yeah, I found it. This one here is very simple. It's about my height, which is 170 centimeters. And the other one I got has a little bit more of a stitching pattern to it. As you can see, oh, this one's a little taller than me. Now what I was thinking of doing is actually stitching these together perhaps, and then using it as like some sort of shade, like a cloth on the window or something. I feel like it diffuses light pretty nice. Something like this, I think it's pretty nice. So it being 10,000 yen each, it was a no-brainer. I had to grab it. Extremely happy with this cop. Now at the market, I also got these two little toys. This one is called a hariko. It has this dangly head and it's in this vibrant orange and red with green accents. I think it's a beautiful piece and it's what caught my attention. And essentially it is a trinket for kids, a little toy that is supposed to bring them the strength of a tiger. I believe this was 800 yen, so I decided I'm gonna grab it and then try to bring it home without destroying it. I also got this dragon daruma, which is kind of interesting. It's a small dragon-shaped daruma figure. It was like in a whole box full of little darumas for like 100 yen and stuff as well. So I thought it would be kind of funny to have. I like darumas. This one's kind of funny, so picked it up. A couple of days later, I went to a shopping mall. This one was called Mark Is. A pretty funny name. Now Mark is so big. There's so many shops inside, and there's actually some thrift shops which I had a look at, and I was very, very surprised. Picked up these two work shirts which I think are beautiful, and they only cost 3,000 yen each. Now they're both work shirts. I want to say this is like a French chore jacket style of work shirt. It's in this indigo color with like this beautiful textured material that has like lines on it. It's an extremely clean piece and it fits quite well. I have another indigo shirt like this. My other one is a little bit thicker though, so I figured this might be a versatile piece to have just while the weather's a little warmer. Literally on the same clothing rack, there was this, which is a similar jacket, except it's a striped version. Now, to be honest, I wasn't too sure about this, and I'm still not too sure whether I like this on me or not. It's a beautiful piece, but I don't really wear stripy things too often, so I'm not too sure. Now, as this was 3,000 yen, I decided it's probably worth picking up regardless of if I'm going to use it or not, because it's pretty affordable, and if I want to sell it later, I'm sure I can, because it's a very, very clean piece. Now I'm gonna have to shout out my friend Peace here for putting me on. There's a brand called Nanga camping gear, Japanese brand, super cool. This is a Nanga bandana. It's a pretty simple piece. It's got a cool graphic on it though, which is like a topography map, the terrain from, I don't know, bird's eye view. And coming in this like khaki brown color, I thought it was very nice and I grabbed it. You can never have too many bandanas. Now, I forgot to mention, but while I was in the city, I went to the Capital store and I picked up this cap. If you guys know me, then you know I've been a fan of Capital for a while. I have a few basic pieces from them, nothing too crazy, but I do like these simple trucker caps. I feel like they complement my head shape well, which is like kind of hard. I feel like my head's kind of big, so then if I add a flat cap, it doesn't really work. But if I have something with a little bit more volume, like a trucker, it seems to look okay. Anyway, just walked into a shop, they had this on the shelf, so Peace and I, we both got one each. It's kind of nice. Now let's talk about the juiciest cops of the week. 2 days ago, Gaku and I, we went to a local outdoor goods shop. It's like a secondhand vintage place. It's got a huge collection of different things, including camping gear, eyewear, clothing, footwear, etc. And I found some gems. I feel like every time I come here, I walk in without any expectations and I walk out with something quite nice. The first thing I found was this insane mammut jacket. I was just thinking that I don't have a jacket that keeps me warm enough in those really cold days over here. I've got a Montbell jacket and it's very nice, but it's not quite warm enough. And then I came across this mammut jacket, which is a 900 fill down, and this is like the good quality down. You can really feel it. And this was 8,000 yen. There's a couple tiny faults with the jacket, a little cut over here, and overall wear, I guess, but it's still very clean. It seems very functional, and it's a no-brainer. Tonal green and brown colors look really nice. There's a cinch on the waist, so you can really get that nice like cropped look with the jacket. And yeah, it's super light, super affordable, and a very, very useful jacket. So I picked this up knowing that I was going to grab it, and I was definitely happy with leaving the store, but then I came across something else. This Patagonia fluffy vest was right behind that jacket, and I saw it and I was like, what's this? Gaku's been wanting one of these for a while, but it wasn't really his size, but I tried it on and it was perfect, and I was like, whoa. As an older piece, this beautiful brown color, it's got a nice vintage feel to it, and I think the cut of it is also a little different because it's an L, a size L, but it fits me quite boxy and nice. Now, I've tried on vests before, and what I've noticed is that they're like too tight on me or something, and it doesn't really give me that like relaxed feel. It feels like I'm like a little bit like too much. So this was actually perfect. I knew that I was probably going to get a lot of wear out of this, so I picked this one up. Very happy with this. Now, before walking out of the shop, I had to take a quick look at some of the accessories that they have. I love camping gear so much, and things that I can use at home as well as while I'm camping is just so cool for me. That's why I love brands like Snow Peak, and that's something I came across. Now, firstly, I've been wanting to buy a flask for a while, and I came across this Snow Peak flask. It's a 150 ml, small little flask made of titanium, and it has a beautiful wooden varnished lid. Now, I know these flasks go for quite a bit brand new, so this one was 6,000 yen. I knew I was going to use it, so I had to pick it up, because if I wasn't going to buy it then, I probably was never going to buy it. Now, every time I go camping and I have whiskey, I always end up bringing the whiskey bottle or like in a plastic bottle, because I don't have a flask, and I always think like, oh, I need to get a flask, but I never do. So this was a pretty good cop. I think I'm going to be using this quite a lot. And the next thing I found was insane as well. This is a tumbler from Snow Peak, and it says for loyal customers on the front. Now, Gaku and I, we did a little bit of research, and Snow Peak, they hold events for members. If you sign up and you spend a lot of money, you get membership status, and then there's like silver, gold, something, platinum, diamond, and like black members. Now, at a certain level, you get invited to these events, and then this is from one of the events, which I think is pretty cool. It's for one of those premium members, people that spend like over $10,000 in Snow Peak gear. It's got a very thin lip, and I love thin-lipped cups because it gives you that sort of like crispy feeling, you know what I mean? Drinking cold liquids through this with this crispy lid kind of like amplifies the crispiness. I just thought it was a nice color. It has a funny little story to it, and yeah, had to pick this one up. So I made a video a couple of weeks ago showcasing the items that I was bringing to Japan, and in that I also said that I was kind of packing minimal because I knew that I'd be coming here and buying some clothing, and yeah, I kind of did. While I was over here, I didn't want to spend too much money on clothing, but when you come across deals that are just too good to be true, you just have to grab them because you might regret it. In all seriousness though, knowing that these items over here, generally they're much cheaper than in Australia, I try not to spend as much money while I'm back at home because I know I could come here and buy it at a much more reasonable price. Honestly, this is just me justifying my purchases. I went a little bit too crazy. What do you think's the best purchase of all the items that I grabbed? Because I might be biased, but I love them all.